All right, so this is a battle report between the armies of Araby and the Beastmen. It's 3,000 points. Since Games Workshop is no longer supporting our hobby, we can play any army we want to, and nobody will be able to say anything. So just think about that for a second. Yep, that's what I'm bringing. Beast Lord with the brass cleaver and all kinds of other crazy stuff. And then he's bringing a bunch of stuff you ain't even never heard of. This should be an interesting game because it's a new army, you know, for me, and it's always a treat to go after a new army. I've played against almost every. Well, I have played against every army except for, every army. Even the new renditions of armies. I'm bringing 2 Cygor. I'm bringing two great Bray Shamans. One with the Staff of Dorkith and the Herdstone. The other with the Ruby Ruin and the Hag Tree Fetish. A Wargoer Battle Standard Bearer. The Hag Tree Fetish allows you to, in the magic phase, reroll wounds caused by magic. So that's going to be awesome. And if you don't really pay attention to it, and you let certain things go because if you think it's weak, then it can really tear you up. I'm bringing a chariot. I'm bringing a large gore unit. I'm bringing another large gore unit, a razor gore, and another chariot. Yeah, this would be fun. Anytime I get to bring 2 Cygors is awesome. Because double Cygors is just cool, man. The target is going to be that main unit, his general's unit, right there in the center. Because that's his leadership bubble. His leadership bubble is like 18 inches because he's mounted on some type of war altar of some sort, a palanquin, if you will. Over on the left, he has a unit of archers on horseback, another unit of archers on horseback, a unit of camel riders, another unit of archers on foot, and then his main unit in the middle. That's from left to right. This is like the second time we're doing this recording because the stupid dog went and did something crazy, and I had to do something about that, and I had to start all over again. He has another unit of archers, a unit of fast cavalry on the right, and behind those guys, well, next to those guys, another unit of fast cavalry to the left. It's hard to tell what everything is because everything's not painted, but he insisted on playing because he wanted to see what they can do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's another look at his army. Quite a few units, actually, compared to my smaller army. We roll to go first, and I roll a 6, and he rolls a 2. So I move forward like this, kind of cautiously. Round 1, fight. Here we go. Round 1, fight. Yeah. I move forward kind of cautiously because I don't know exactly what this army can do. And I don't want him to be testing out stuff that he knows is badass on me without with impunity. So I'm moving forward kind of cautiously and still bearing a little bit of my teeth. He's still going to have to make some moves here because he doesn't want to get hit by a razor gore. Because he's still only strength 3 in close combat, his archers are. And he doesn't want to get hit by a chariot because chariots, well, they do impact hits. Even Beastmen chariots. Yeah. And I'm going to want to shoot those Cygor rocks right into that main unit and hopefully cause a panic check if I can. Yep, and in my magic phase, I rise up some Hex Wraiths because they're free and it's easy to cast because my magic phases during this game were ridiculous because the Herdstone pretty much adds 3 to my magic phase, 3 dice every time. So as long as the sorcerers are still alive, I'm okay with this. Yeah, and there's the picture of the Hex Wraiths. And it's good because he doesn't have a lot of magical shooting because he took the lore of light, and it does have Searing Doom, but he doesn't really use it all that much. He did have a spell that I was kind of scared of. It was called Sandstorm, and Sandstorm is pretty wicked. It actually stops me from shooting, but I don't think he actually realized that I was going to come to shoot, and he already had a plan in his head. And sometimes we get like that. We come to a battle thinking one thing, and then when we actually get to the battle, it's something entirely different, and we don't change our strategy. But this is the bottom turn 5. He moves his guys, his fast cavalry out to shoot at my chariot and the Razor Gore. He doesn't want that to... the Razor Gore or the chariot to actually punish his army. In which, you know, toughness 3, strength 3 guys, the Razor Gore can get into your lines, and he can punish your stuff, especially if he hits you on the flanks, or, you know, he can get down and dirty. So you want to stop him. His archers are a vast nuisance to me. In that first, in that first turn, I did get some shooting off of the Cygors. I missed with one and hit the unit to the right, and then I hit with the other, and I think I killed like 4 or 5 guys. And on the other guys, I think I killed like 2, maybe 3. His magic phase, he cast a Comet of Cassador on me. Oh no, but I'm a Horde army, so really I don't really care. Your average roll is going to be 7 on any of those dice. I don't care about strength because, well, I don't wear armor anyway, so it doesn't really matter. My guys are not expensive enough for me to give a damn. He shoots those chariot. He shoots and kills the chariot in this close combat. The Comet didn't come in, by the way. I think the Comet actually comes in on the following turn at the beginning of the magic phase. So he shoots the chariot, kills the chariot. Their ballistic skill is 5, which is amazing, actually. And then over here, they only do 1 wound on this chariot over here. So, because their strength is still 3. I think the only unit he has at strength 4 like that is like, I guess their bows are kind of like Dark Elf crossbows. In my turn, I move the Hex Wraiths forward, and I actually do summon in a, it's not in this picture. It's not actually in it. The picture's not actually there because I think I forgot to take it. But I summoned up a Jabberslythe in my magic phase. And the Jabberslythe has an Aura of Madness, and every unit within 12 inches has to take a leadership test, and how many they fail by is how many wounds they take with no armor saves. But that's not the most important thing about the Jabberslythe. The most important thing about the Jabberslythe is the fact that if you get in close combat with one, how many times you wound it is how many times you wound you take back. So it's really good at killing units that are really big and really nasty and really soft, like Dark Elves. But he comes around back with his cavalry, and he comes around back with his other cavalry. Yeah, so here's another view here. The plan is to try to get to his genie and kill his genie with the Hex Wraiths. Not with the Hex Wraith necessarily, but I really want to get my Hex Wraiths back into his back lines and start moving through units. And he wants to stop that. In his shooting phase, he actually kills another chariot, which I'm okay with that. It's just a chariot. The chariot's far enough away from the Ungor for the Ungor not to panic. So that at least is good. Sorry for the strangers with the recording, but still trying to get used to the software. Here's another picture of the chariot getting shot to death. We decided to use this color board because we're in the desert. And if there was a way I can make dunes, I would do it. I think I'm coming up with an idea of how to make dunes. The Comet comes in on his turn. The funny thing is the Comet ends up ultimately killing Cygor, and it does 2 wounds to the Gore, and it does 10 wounds to the Bestigore. So I'm down to like 29 Bestigore, which is still okay with me because technically they're still a horde and doesn't matter. And the funny thing is he actually did cast a spell against that same Cygor that died, and so it was almost like he negated his own spell. But he didn't know the range of the comet was going to be 11 inches because it was quite large, because I actually did back up when he dropped the comet down in front of the Cygor, in front of that unit of Bestigore. thinking I can get this Cygor out of range. Yeah, he does a couple of wounds to the. He does kill the Razor Gore. I'm okay with that. It's just a Razor Gore. It's just a pig. I don't eat pork anyway. And in my turn, I charge the Jabberslife into the flank of the genie, and I charge the Hex Wraith into the genie as well. I think this picture is out of order because there were 5 Hex Wraiths there, right? The genie kills 3 of them. But anyway, it still gives you the idea of what's going on here. He moves his. I did summon more Hex Wraiths. In his turn, he did move his camels out in front of my unit. I guess, I don't know whether he was trying to slow me down, what he was trying to do. I mean, I thought he was going to try to slow me down with those guys, but he ultimately charges the Hex Wraiths. Yep. Where he's coming around to get the Cygor, because the Cygor, between those first 2 turns, the Cygors killed like a ridiculous amount of his guys. I didn't cover it because I'm not used to covering shooting because we play Chaos Warriors. His magic phase, it gets a miscast because he wants to try Shim's Burning Gaze on the Bestigor. I'm okay with this. And then he ends up killing 2 Bestigor. And I think he does quite a bit of damage. I mean, he doesn't do a lot of damage because his guy is not inside the unit. He's back there behind there. He just takes a wound. Which just brings me closer to killing that guy. And it ends this magic phase because it effectively ends his magic phase because he didn't have any more dice left. So yeah, I think the armor is gonna be nice when he finishes painting it. He moves his archers in front to try to slow down my Gore for helping out my Bestigor. But guess what? The Bestigor don't need any help. Okay, they don't need any help. And here's an angle of him charging the Hex Wraiths. He charges his camels out of the way of the Bestigor to get to the Hex Wraiths. I don't understand why he did that. He just opened up the Bestigor to charge in there and just do whatever they want. He shoots and he does 2 wounds to the Cygor with his mobile archer units. Yeah, I mean, and then he charges the flank of the Jabberslife. The Jabberslife is going to end up fleeing, but before he flees, they do a wound on the Jabberslife. The Jabberslife wounds him back. Then another wound on the Jabberslife. Jabberslife wounds him back. Then does another wound on the Jabberslife from the unit, and the Jabberslife wounds him back. Then the Jabberslife thunderstomps and kills a bunch of guys, and also does a regular attack and kills a bunch of guys. That Jabberslife is worth his weight in gold, even though he is expensive. But he's not expensive to me because I summoned him. He's free. Okay, then over here, another free unit takes a casualty because he has no magical weapons, but it slows his army down. In my turn, the Jabberslife rallies, and so the Jabberslife will come back for more. I mean, look at that unit. He's actually depleted that unit pretty badly, the Jabberslife did. He's getting free hits and free wounds on him. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome, actually. And I think people underestimated the Jabberslife. We do more magical shooting. Pew, pew, pew. We do the fireball. Kills like 4 guys or 3 guys, something like that. And then they flee. They panic and flee. What I should have done was probably finish them. But then again, I'm glad I didn't because they ended up fleeing off the board anyway. And I shot the Staff of Dorgoth at these other guys, and I kill about 3 of those guys. I mean, pew, 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 even more. Pew, 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 pew. It almost feels like I'm playing 40K. All right. And then I roll in the close combat phase. I roll double 1s for Primal Fury for the Bestigor. It's about to go down. They become frenzy and they get to re-roll their attacks in close combat. This ain't gonna be good. This ain't gonna be good at all. The The Beast Lord has 5 of his own men in base contact with him and 2 of the Araby guys in base contact with him. So that's an extra 7 attacks he's going to have. Then he has his regular 4, so that's like 11 attacks. And then he's frenzied, so that's 12 attacks, re-rolling the hit. He's wounded on 3. He's wounded on 3s. Oh, no, these guys are toughness 3. He wounds on 2s. Yeah, 13 hit combo. Combo. Yep, 13 hit combo. He tears that up. And guess what's going to happen? And then after that, the Bestigor let loose. And they kill a bunch of guys. And then it's just like, what can you do after that? It's like, He runs and he flees, chase him down. Ultimate combo. Kills everybody. Panics the unit to the left. The archer unit to the left. Yeah. And, yeah, that was great. There's the panic. Yep, there they go. Run away. When you rally, you won't be able to shoot me. That's great. In close combat down here with the Hex Wraith, I think he's going to end up killing another Hex Wraith off combat resolution because I'm rolling like poop with the Hex Wraiths. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess since it's not chaos, my dice don't recognize it as being they're a part of them. His turn. He charges the gore in the flank. Yeah, that's not going to be good for them. There's not enough gore there to actually put up a good fight. Over here, he tries to rally his fleeing mobile archers. And I think he rolls like a 10, so he's going to fail that one. I mean, I like the Araby army. They're not overpowered. I'm so scared. These guys smell like sweat, hair, and farts. Let's get out of here. Yeah. They're not a bad army. They're not overly powered, because I think that's what a lot of these tournament organizers figure about them. They're overpowered. They're hard. It's hard to get to the rules. The rules are free for them, actually. Anybody can get them. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's a valid enough excuse not to let this army in to tournaments and whatnot. Especially now the Games Workshop is now washed their hands of fantasy. Everything's unofficial. So everything should be able to be played, right? The shooting phase, they kill the Cygor. And the funny thing is, he only had 2 shots that hit, and then he rolls 2 6s to kill the Cygor. For the lose. No. Get up. But I think the Cygor have done their work. They killed over 20 guys before they went down. I mean, they killed at least 18. I'm gonna say 20. I'm giving them a lot of credit. They killed 18. Yep, and the genie dies to the Jabberschlife. He does. I think he does a wound to the Jabberschlife, or 2 wounds to the Jabberschlife, and then the Jabberschlife wounds it back once and kills him. Fantastic. And then these guys they lose in close combat, and then they roll their Primal Fury, and they make it. Because the Lord is right there, leadership 10, no reroll, but it's leadership 10, so they're holding. So over here is a picture of the Hex Wraith losing a guy. I'm fine I'm okay with this, and I think he might have lost 2 guys, and I did 1 wound to him, and I killed one of his camel riders over here to the left quarter of the left bottom quarter of the screen. So yeah, I mean, I like this army, the Araby army. I mean, why not? Let them play. You know, Bad News Bears, let them play. Let them play. The Jabberschlife charges the flank of his unit back here in the back. I don't know what they're called. The more I play with against this army, the better I'll know these names of these guys. But he charges them in the flank, and then the Bestigor charge him in the front. The Sorcerer casts in the magic phase and gets irresistible force, brings up a Terrorgeist, and he startles himself. He hits so hard with that spell when he cast it so hard that he startled himself. I only had 3 dice, and then the Hearthstone gave me another 3, so that gave me 6. So why not, right? And I had 3 markers sitting over there on the inside. Why not summon the Terrorgeist? Because Terrorgeists are fun. That's why. He startled himself. It's like a dog who farts, and his fart is so strong and so loud that it scares himself. That's what happened. This sorcerer, this Brave Shaman, farted so hard that it scared himself. He farted out a Terrorgeist from the bowels of hell. And this Terrorgeist is a 3-headed dog named Cerebrus. And I think it's awesome. I like it better than the actual Terrorgeist model, just because it's a 3-headed dog from hell. And it's a pit bull, no less. So a 3-headed pit bull ain't nothing worse than that. I'd piss myself too if things scream at me. Jabber charged, Jabber's Life. I should have charged those guys back behind that unit. The Jabber's Life would have killed that unit. It would have finished it. One way or another, it would have finished it. And the Bestigor would have killed those guys, and I would have been able to charge it. Yeah, I should have done that. That's what I gave him points on that one. I gave him. Well, I didn't really give him anything. The Jabber's Life was worth nothing. He's free. I screamed and killed 5 guys over here with this unit. I like the Jabber's Life so hard. He's so cool. And yeah, here's another picture of the Jabber's Life screaming the hell out of him. This is definitely a fun game here. He rallies. He doesn't. I don't think he. They don't panic. I don't know why that picture is there. It's just the picture of 2 guys sitting there. I don't know, doing whatever they do. The main thing he needs to do is paint this army. He really needs to paint this army. It would have been so much more of a better battle report if you just paint the army. I mean, go online and find. A lot of people don't realize this. You can go on YouTube and you can actually find techniques on how to paint, certain models, and you can use those techniques to show yourself how to use other models. Yeah, those gore, they panic and they get run down. Yeah, I didn't even get Primal Fury, and they didn't wound anything. And that was bottom of turn. We're going into the bottom of turn 5 now. He's going to end up turning those guys around. He's got his archers still there. He's going to end up shooting at the Bestigor, and I'm afraid that he's going to shoot too overwhelmingly at the Bestigor and totally wipe the unit out. Because right now I only have 2 actual Bestigor left over. He charges the Jabberschleif in his turn. That's going to spell the end for the Jabberschleif. And I was hoping that he would do a big amount of damage to the Jabberschleif before he lets out, and I think he actually does. Yeah, he did, and then in close combat he ends up killing the last Hex Wraith in his turn. So that's good for me, because at turn 6 I'm going to try to summon another unit of Hex Wraiths in front. I actually did summon a Gorgon. I forgot it was turn 6. But it's also always fun to summon a Gorgon, because if you're running Lure of the Wild and you don't summon at least 1 Gorgon, something's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Beastmen do. They summon Gorgons. Big, giant, ugly Gorgon. And I summoned a Hex Wraith unit right there in front of his unit to guarantee that he will not charge the Bestigor, not the Bestigor, the Gore, and start trying to pick off sorcerers, because the sorcerers actually did miscast another time and did a wound on one of my sorcerers. And he could have charged in there and killed that sorcerer and got some points, and maybe even killed another sorcerer, because my sorcerers don't wear armor; they're just toughness 5. But yeah, this is the final round. This is the final turn. He charges his unit there into the side of the Terrorgeist. I got him for free. I don't care if he lives or die now. The Jabberschleif before they charged him, he did scream off his wizard. So the Jabberschleif made more than this points, because the Jabberschleif costed me nothing. A lot of people want to Swedish comp. People want to actually make the lore expensive for Swedish comp, when the only thing you actually have to do is make everything that people summon costs points if it's killed. If you do that, that would fix Lure of Undeath. That would deter people from using the Lure of Undeath. He shot with his archers and he killed the BSB, but he did not kill my regular banner. My regular banner gives me +1 leadership, and I roll for panic and I pass on a 10. I had rolled an actual just a 10, and I happen to be leadership 10 just because that banner just happens to be still alive in turn 6. So the unit, he gets only half points for the unit because we decided to use the tournament rules. I don't know why we're using tournament rules. If you go back to regular rules, but he decided to use the tournament rules. He gets half points for them, and I'm okay with that. He kills the Terrorgeist in close combat. Also okay because it's free. And this is the last turn. This is it. I had quite a bit of fun. This is what's left on the field. I'm okay with that because I have so many points in that Gore unit that he wouldn't need to get to the Gore unit and handle the Gore unit. And I had a sorcerer in there that had the final transformation of Kadon, and that was my oh shit button. So if he would have got back there and got in there, I would have pressed the oh shit button. But yeah, it's a Beastman victory over these strange humans that wear no armor. It was a fun game. Like I said,